Hey there and welcome to Get Indie Gaming, and to a new episode of My Most Wanted, the series where I take you through a selection of indie games I have on my watch list and wanted to share. See anything you like? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and with all that, let's drop straight into the rundown. I first noticed Genesis Noir early last year via its Kickstarter. Here it brought in just under $50,000. While not expected to be ready for some time yet, we got to see a new trailer at the E3 just gone, with this one being tagged as a cosmic adventure that's set before, during and after the Big Bang. I'm not going to lie though, I'm not really sure what this game is all about, though it seems to be based upon a 2D exploration and adventure premise. You'll play as a private detective where you go about trying to solve a murder that's yet to happen. I love how this all looks with the white line chalk drawing style that feels so very whimsical. For now, this one's expected on the Mac and the PC.
Mankind has been lifting and moving objects since the dawn of time. Welcome to your first step towards becoming a certified furniture, arrangement, and relocation technician. Don't let anything stand in your way.
At number 6, and one of 2 couch co-op games to feature in this month's rundown, moving out from the folks at Wholesome Games, looks and feels on a similar spectrum to Overcooked, a game currently sitting at the top of my all-time list for couch co-op experiences. Moving out with its furniture arrangement and relocation technicians, or FARTs for short, will feature local and online play across a number of story, arcade and versus modes. Each level will also adjust the gameplay experience on the fly. This will take into account the number of players on the screen, which is an intelligent approach. At the time this Most Wanted video goes to air, aside from the PC, other release platforms for Moving Out are yet to be announced. That being said, the team have said over Twitter they don't intend to disappoint anybody, so we can probably assume this will land on most, if not all, of this generation's consoles. Moving Out is expected at some point later in the summer. At number 5, and coming from the game kitchen, you may well remember Blasphemous from the team's 2017 Kickstarter campaign. While they had a goal of $50,000, the campaign ended with the team having brought in $333,000, making Blasphemous one of the bigger Kickstarter fundraisers of recent years. Expected later this year on PC, PlayStation 4, Switch and the Xbox One, Blasphemous is one heck of an outrageously grisly and gruesome non-linear action platformer with hack-and-slash based combat. While visually rather fine, given the graphic nature and overall content, it's not going to be for everybody. This certainly comes close to the limits of the type of imagery I'm willing to see and interact with from a gaming perspective. You'll play as the penitent one caught within what's described as being an endless cycle of death and rebirth. On the combat, well, there's a focus on delivering devastating combos, brutal execution style killings against enemies and bosses. You'll also be able to locate and equip relics, rosary beads and prayers that boost your character and harness the powers of the heavens. This to all aid your quest and break your eternal damnation. This launches later in the year, and it's not something I'll be showing to the mother-in-law. At number 4, and another title expected later in the summer, Bloodroots reminds me, like no doubt it reminds many of you, of Hotline Miami. In an interview with Polygon, Rafe Toulouse, co-founder of the studio behind the game, he said they approached and made Bloodroots in a similar vein to a Quentin Tarantino film. He compared it to being a patchwork or a collage of influences, the setting being inspired by The Revenant, the art style being also inspired by the likes of Samurai Jack, and there's also a nod to Hotline Miami but also to Jackie Chan, with the idea that everything you see in the game is a weapon, which is certainly true here in Bloodroots. Everything you see can be used against your enemies, be they tools, barrels, hay bales, and even garden vegetables should you choose to do so. The onus is to pull together combos, and with a mechanic that focuses primarily on melee weapons having a limited lifetime, players will benefit from adopting an aggressive forward directional style. This all looks gorgeous, fun and frantic, and I'm hugely looking forward to seeing and playing this at Gamescom in a few weeks' time. At number 3, Valfaris comes from the team behind Slain back from Hell, with it being Slain's direct successor. Here we have a 2D side-scrolling action game set within the furthest reaches of space, where you do battle against an awful lot of monsters, all infused to the tunes of a heavy metal soundtrack. First announced at E3 in 2017, the listing on Steam shows a 2019 release time frame, with it also coming to the PlayStation 4. Interestingly enough, as this video goes live, it's listed on their US store as coming on the PlayStation in September. Players will also be able to get hold of Valfaris on the Switch and the Xbox One. At number 2, and the second couch co-op game of this month's Most Wanted Rundown, Heave Ho from French developers Le Cartel and by way of Devolver Digital will launch later this summer on PC and the Nintendo Switch. I spent a good half hour or so playing this with a selection of random strangers back in May. This was at EGX Res show in London, and all of us had a terrific time. It's all simple enough. All you need to do is use your character and those of your playing buddies to grapple your way across the level. You'll also have to avoid obstacles such as spikes, birds and their droppings, and other things as you go about your business. Just like Overcooked and any other decent couch co-op game, success requires a huge amount of communication from all the players in order to get the movement timings correct. It's all too easy to miss your moment, as it were, and see your group fall to their on-screen deaths. Again, like Overcooked, Heave Ho will be the course of many a lover's and best friend's tiff, second only to those "but I thought you measured it" arguments you see and hear in IKEA car parks. With the ability to personalise your potato head and coming with around 50 different skins for launch, with what I've seen of Heave Ho and what I've played of it earlier in the year, I can see this very much being at the pointy end of the list when I do my wrap-up come December. Number 1, and my most wanted game this July rundown, The Last Campfire was first announced at the Game Awards last year, and is a new project from Hello Games, who of course brought us No Man's Sky, a game the team continue to grow and develop, with a further update expected anytime soon. Studio head Sean Murray has likened The Last Campfire as something similar to Pixar's shorts. He sees it as a way of fostering and developing creativity and new voices within his team. While there isn't too much known about it, Hello Games describe The Last Campfire as an adventure and a story of lost ember, all trapped in a puzzling space searching for meaning and a way home. Hello Games go on to mention players can expect to find a beautiful wilderness filled with strange creatures, lost folk, and mysterious ruins. The Last Campfire is the work of just 2 employees, Chris Simmons and Stephen Burgess, who previously made Lost Winds for Frontier Developments, which dropped a decade or so ago, and featured a cartoon art style with platforming and puzzle elements. At the moment there's no word on a release date or which platforms it will release on, although it does already have a Steam page, and I'll drop a link to that down in the description below. Given the success Hello Games has had with these type of smaller titles such as their Joe Danger series, and given how high profile Hello Games have become, we can expect lots of interest in The Last Campfire once we're closer to launch. With The Last Campfire topping off my most wanted rundown for July, that's all we have time for in this video. Many thanks for watching, and I look forward to welcoming you all back here soon for more indie game videos.